5 seconds to go. Start. All the private respondents in the present bunch of cases were given monetary benefits which were in excess of their entitlement. These benefits flowed to them consequent upon a mistake committed by the concerned competent authority in determining the emoluments payable to them. The mistake could have occurred on account of a variety of reasons, including the grant of a status which the concerned employee was not entitled to, or payment of salary in a higher scale than in consonance of the right of the concerned employee, or because of a wrongful fixation of salary of the employee consequent upon the upward revision of pay scales, or for having been granted allowances for which the concerned employee was not authorized. The long and short of the matter is that all the private respondents were beneficiaries of a mistake committed by the employer, and on account of the said unintentional mistake, employees were in receipt of monetary benefits beyond their due. Another essential factual component in this bunch of cases is that the respondent employees were not guilty of furnishing any incorrect information which had led the concerned competent authority to commit the mistake of making the higher payment to the employees. The payment of higher dues to the private respondents in all these cases was not on account of any misrepresentation made by them, nor was it on account of any fraud committed by them. Any participation of the private respondents in the mistake committed by the employer in extending the undeserved monetary benefits to the respondent employees is totally ruled out. It would therefore not be incorrect to record that the private respondents were as innocent as their employers in the wrongful determination of their inflated emoluments. The issue that we have been required to adjudicate is whether all the private respondents against whom an order of recovery has been made should be exempted in law from the reimbursement of the same to the employer. For the applicability of the instant order and the conclusions recorded by us hereinafter, the ingredients depicted in the foregoing two paragraphs are essentially indispensable, merely on account of the fact that the release of these monetary benefits was based on a mistaken belief at the hands of the employer, and further because the employees had no role in the determination of the employer, could it be legally feasible for the private respondents to assert here they should be exempted from refunding the excess amount received by them. Insofar as the above issue is concerned, it is necessary to keep in mind that the following reference was made by a division bench of two judges of this court for consideration by a larger bench in view of an apparent difference of views expressed on the one hand in Shyam Babu Verma and others versus Union of India and others 2 SCC 521, and on the other hand in Chandi Prasad Unial and others versus State of Uttarakhand and others SCC 417, we are of the view that the remaining special leave petitions should be placed before a bench of 3 judges. The registry is accordingly directed to place the file of the remaining special leave petitions before the Honorable the Chief Justice of India for taking instructions for the constitution of a bench of 3 judges to adjudicate upon the present controversy. The aforesaid reference was answered by a division bench of 3 judges on 8 July 2014. While disposing of the reference, the 3 judge division bench recorded the following observations in paragraph 7. In our considered view, the observations made by the court not to recover the excess amount paid to the appellant therein were in exercise of its extraordinary powers under Article 142 of the Constitution of India, which vests the power in this court to pass equitable orders in the ends of justice. Having recorded the above observations, the reference was answered as under. Therefore, in our opinion, the decisions of the court based on different scales of Article 136 and Article 142 of the Constitution of India cannot be best weighed on the same grounds of reasoning, and thus, in view of the aforesaid discussion, there is no conflict in the views expressed in the first 2 judgments and the latter judgment. In that view of the above, we are of the considered opinion that reference was unnecessary. Therefore, without answering the reference, we send back the matters to the division bench for its appropriate disposal. In view of the conclusions extracted herein above, it will be our endeavor to lay down the parameters of fact situations wherein employees who are beneficiaries of wrongful monetary gains at the hands of the employer may not be compelled to refund the same. In our considered view, the instant benefit cannot extend to an employee merely on account of the fact that he was not an accessory to the mistake committed by the employer as such. Stop.